everyone. It's currently 3:03 a.m. and now finally made inventory for everyone. I'm not gonna code it all over again, but as you can see, there's been different changes from what I made, new handler and whatnot. So I'll just go through it, starting from from here. Index. Okay. So don't know realize by here / commands. So we'll go over that. Anyway, we already have a mongoose database. You will need to be required to require these, so you have to just go.
Nevaeh, would you stop being dumb? Please? Jeez, you fell off the bench. Come here. My God. Come here. Come here. Be careful.
Jeez, just go to sleep. Oh my God. Anyway, so pretty much you'll go in the terminal and just do npm. Come on, fucking bitch. There we go. Install this. No, that. And that. This is what you write. You hit enter, it installs it. That's it. I already have it installed, so I don't need to do that. Alright. And we already have this. Pretty sure everyone should have these. If you don't, put it in there because that's important if you want your bot to work. This here will also be for / commands. I just make a config.json file in your main directory, not in any of these. Or just hide these. Not in any of these, just right here. And you want your, now I'll censor this, but you want your client ID, guild ID, and your token. And then no, I won't censor it because I would just change it before anything happens, because I'm not dumb. But anyway, you got your token. No, this is where everything goes. Alright, once you get that, you'll get that in there, and then we're just gonna make this an array. Just put an array here because you're gonna need it for all your commands to put in. I put in 2 collections. Client.commands equals a new collection. Same with events. This will get these 2 right here. And right down here we have another one. We have the files that we need to get, command and event handler. And then we're just going to do it for each of these. In our, it'll be a handler. We'll be required to have this folder and get this, each of these, and we're going to pass in client and Discord. Alright, now before I go on anything else, when you're right here, I'm going to go ahead and just go right to here because this should be the next step. Once you make these, go to command handler. This is, of course, what you would normally use. You would need FS, modular exports, client Discord, arrow function, open brackets, command files, FS reader syncs, commands folder, filter it, so it's every file within it has to end with JS. Alright, then it'll read that file and grab it and whatnot. Then we're going to do a for loop for file of command files. So of all these files in here, That's what we'll do. That's what we're getting. We'll do command require commands of file, and then if command.name, so it will be if this command dot the name. Well, it won't get this one, it'll get this one. But if it put the name, you would just go, where's my thingy? We'll get that name, then we just do client commands, or that this here's our collection dot set command.name, the name of this, to command.
Are you done?
And then else, just continue. That'll be all for that one. So then we'll go down to event handler. Again, you will need this. You will need to do this here, and just do that basic thing. Just then you have to do load directories and dirs. So event files, read dir sync of events with dirs or other folders. Then filter with every file within these. Has to end with JS, so we'll get it, not like just every other file. Then of course another for file of event files, which is up here. Our event will be required to have events, dirs, both of these, and every file within these. My throat's dry. Alright, and then our event name will be, we will just take the file that we take here and we'll split it from this dot. Alright, so we only get interaction create and ready. And then client.on, whenever our client is on, it will call these events. So instead of you having to type, like, I'm just going to do that here, client.on interaction create this interaction arrow function this. So instead of you having to write this will get the file, we'll split it from the .js, and we'll keep the rest of it, and then it will put this into here. So we'll put ready into there. So client.on ready, or client.on interaction create. That's why you need it. And then you have to, we take these, every file, and we bind it with Discord and client. And now that's pretty much it for that. So now we have to identify what the actual dirs are and call this. So client guild, and so these two folders, make sure they're separate. So for each so for each of these, load them. It will load both of these into here. So put them all the way into here as a dir, and then it'll get the files, and yeah. So there's that. So that's for the handlers. Now that I have you having these, you'll want ready and interaction create. Make sure this one is down here, and make sure you spell it right. Same with ready. For ready, modular exports, empty parentheses, arrow function, console log as ready. Doesn't matter. Alright, and then what we'll do is go into guild. So this will be where our actual interactions will be made. So as you can see, I have this here. So we'll do that quick before we move on to here, which means that be in here. So Mongoose, this is connected to Mongoose. So if you followed along with my last one, you'll get to have it working. So simply just go in here, make a models folder, do an inventory schema.js, require Mongoose, set a variable to inventory schema to a new Mongoose schema, put in the user ID, the type of it has to be a string, it needs to be, you need this is absolutely necessary and unique, because every Discord ID isn't unique, isn't the same. And then our last thing, inventory will be an array. Within that will be an object of ID and the number. I found this easier for at least myself when I'm working with this. Now, of course, I have on my main bot, I have many different categories, but yeah, you can just do this. It works. It works either way. Anyway, we have to export as a model. So you have a model, mongoose.model, invent model of this. That's what that will be. This here will show up in the database, and every single schema right here will show up in the database. And then you just export that model. Now that we did that, we can go back to here. You need to require this model. So const any word, but I just call it invent model. So just require it. Find your path to models. It should be the same as mine. And then you'll get your exports async with Discord client interaction. And then if the interaction is command is if it's not a command, that's what it is. If this isn't a command, return. That's it. That's all it is. If it isn't a command, you just return. Then we'll set command equal to client.commands, our collection, and we'll get interaction command name. Command name's built into this, so that's why it works. And we'll have inventory. Then we'll do a try and catch. This is for error handling, just in case. So it's just inventory awaits invent model find one user ID interaction.user.id. That's how that works. This will just go into our invent model library, find a file with the user ID that's equal to our current user. And if we don't have one, because that will happen, you will not have one at first, you will need to just make it a useless variable that will never get used. Do await invent model create, and user ID is just interaction.user.id, so your ID, inventory empty, or whatever you want to put in it. I don't know, just I keep it empty. And then of course you will catch your error, console log it, and then down here command execute Discord client interaction inventory. Alright, we'll put a thing there. Anyway. Alright. Alright, with that done. Now, with your event folders done, your handler folder done, this is done. Let's see. Alright. So before we get into any of this, we're going to continue with this. So now we'll take our array here, do client collection, or commands collection dot map. So we're just going to make it an array using dot map, and we're just going to get x of info. Now, you will see why we need info, or where this is coming from. I'll promise I show you. But yes, just do x.info. Then here's our connection. There you already did, just don't touch it. Then down here, I'm using REST. Well, you can do it without, but I just found it using the documentation easier than just trying to figure out a super smart way to just do it without it. But anyway, you'll want to client on ready. Now there already is one in here. If you want to use this, you could try. I am not going to, because this also works, and I just find it, if it's here, I know it works because it's that line and it's just this code. Anyway, you just set rest equal to new rest for version 9, set in your token, which is called right here from your config.json, and then we'll call it async function. So empty brackets, arrow function, try console log. We're gonna say that we're starting it. Then down here, await rest, and we're gonna put our routes to application guild commands, which will take client ID and our guild ID. This is so that you can have your slash commands instantly and not have to wait an hour. So this is good for testing purposes. But yeah, and then we want to put a comma, open braces, bot, put the body in there. So, and this is an array, so it will pretty much put all your commands that you want to be a slash command into here, which is why we needed to do this. And then this here, for global purposes, you can put in there if you want. If you want to wait that hour to make all commands in all commands that your bot, every server your bot is in, the commands will be slash. Well, they will be slash, not just in one server. So that you just do the same thing, just remove guild ID. And now here, just say it was successful, so you know it was. And of course, catch your errors, because you only want to not do that. And then log in anyway. Now, before we get on to these, I'm going to go through our last JSON file. That's items. So we want to actually add an item so I can show you that this works. So make a JSON file, item list, name, put wherever you want, I don't care. I'm going to just put 2 more just so to show you. Because afterwards, after you do this, no matter how many items you put, it won't mess up anything. At least it shouldn't. Oh no, done there. Alright, that's what that is. So now, what we're going to do is we're going to want to add an item to the inventory. So this is where actual programming comes in, because that's what we do. So we're going to require our items.json because we're going to need them to even put an item in. This command you don't need. If you have a command that puts an item to your database, that's fine. You don't need this. I'm showing you this in case you don't, and it's just going to get a random item. So then we also need our profile or actual inventory model as well. So you start with your exports. We get info, which if you've seen, that is what we need right here. So this here is actually filling up with these here. And this will pretty much show up for your slash commands. I do it again over here for other reasons with other files, but I don't think you need them. I don't know. You can add them. I'm adding them. I don't care what you think. So I'm adding them there. So yeah. Anyway, you want to do another execute with async and then Discord client interaction inventory, just like in the handler here, right here. Alright. Anyway. Right, so we're going to need to get the item. I'm doing it as items, item list, mapping, every name. So that should be 4 items. So that will make an array of 4 items. The item we want to add will be item, the index of math.floor, which I'm pretty sure, yeah, rounds to the greatest integer. And then math.random times that by the length of this. So it should go 0 to 3 or 1 to 4. I know if you just do this, it starts 0 to 1. But then you times it by the length. That should be 4. I'm guessing 0 to 4. I don't know for sure. It's a bit off since technically, if you want to think about it, here's a little programming thing. This is actually 0 to 3. Because the bot will start here at 0. Of course, you can't comment JSON files, but you know, 0, 1, 2, 3. It works, so I keep it. It doesn't matter. This is a throwaway command anyways. So before I get into this, we'll go over what we want to do first. So let's add our item. Down here, we want to check if we do not have this item in our inventory. If this item doesn't exist in the inventory, that's what that says. This here is a not. Then here we're taking the inventory, which is here. This here, we're getting this, and then we're finding the item name with the ID. Every item, we're comparing their ID with add item, which is whatever this may be. And if it's not in there, then we're going to push 1, because this is an array. I'll push 1 into there with the ID of our item with a count set to 1. Then just save it. Else, whenever we do this, we're going to take the counter and we want to find the counter of this item. So I put in a function because it's pretty easy. So you just take in the ID, which is, of course, we know our ID has to be this. So then we put in another variable. We find an item in our inventory with the item name that is equal to our ID, which is added item. So pretty much right here. And then we're taking this and say equal to our int of this item, aka this item, dot count. Else it will just return. This is just in case. This most likely will never happen, but in case if it does, it will just return the command. Anyway, we'll then take count and take it count plus 1. So if this here was 1, this will be 1 plus 2, and it will save 2 to count. This was 2, 2 plus 1 is 3, put it into count, you're just going to return 3. That's how that works. And now, when we go back down here, we'll want to do an await, invent model, which is up here, find one, and update. So we have to find it. So we'll take user ID, set to interaction.user.id. This will get your current ID. Can I stop doing weird things? Oh, there we go. And then we will also want to put a comma because we also want to find invent of our ID of add item. That's what we want to find. We want to find that item in the inventory, and then we want to set the counter here. This count, motherfucker. We want to set this counter here to this number. So this will return a 3. 3 will go here. So, and then we just do our interaction that reply, add this item to your inventory. That's it. That's it for that. So now, so you can see that there works. This command here works. Here's my server. Yes, I have a bot. If it loads, this one is online and everything because it's hosting 24/7. So yeah, that's what I got. Anyway. Taking this, add. Wait, there's no parameters. I tried, but oh well. Add pickaxe to your inventory. Look at that. We got a pickaxe now. Now, what that did was it actually created, because I don't think I have one. Yeah, that was the one in the new item. So it created it through this. Alright. Now, our inventory. So we don't have to require anything, it's just inventory. So module that exports info, name, description. This is what you have to do for every command. Same with these, name and description, and your execute. That's what you have to do every time you make a new command file. That's all you gotta do. So your execute, making sure it's async. I think I said it right. Discord, client, interaction. This, again, same as it was in here. Right here. Same as this. Oh my god. Alright. Anyway. So if we don't have an inventory, so if we don't have this, we want to actually just say that we are creating one for you, because technically the bot is. And now we want to do a try. As you can see, there's only one function. But anyway, we'll try. We'll set the author equal to our await interaction. And we get the guild members. We'll fetch our ID. I did this so that we can do this here, but anyway, we'll make a embed, message embed, and set the title to author.user.tag, which I'll show you later what that looks like. And then just inventory, and we'll get that our inventory. Next, we want to check if inventory, if our inventory has a length that is greater than or equal to 1. Because if it doesn't, we don't want to waste any space. We don't want to show anything. Oh my Jesus. Anyway, we don't want to show anything other than just this when it's 0. So we have nothing. It will say you have nothing in your inventory. Alright. Now, whenever we do have something, we have to now make one. We have to now put all the items into this field. So we're going to take an array. We're going to get that array by taking the items in our inventory, and we're going to map each and every one of them by its ID. Alright. And then what we're going to do is next, this here, invent items, will be another array, but we're going to create, we're going to call that create inventory, and we're going to put in this array to be modified. Alright, and then after that whole process is done, I will show you, I will explain it, but we're going to do a join with this here. This here will just break it into a new line, so that instead of it going straight across, it will actually break each and every one of them to a new line. Now we're going to go down to here with this. Since we're taking an array, we're going to put in another array. This is very array heavily, okay? Sorry. So we're going to do a for loop, set array that length for here. Make sure I is less than that. If it's not, I plus I just gets increased. Then in here, we're going to find in our inventory the item of our ID that is equal to the array's current iteration. What I mean is the current iteration this is. So say we have 2 items in our inventory. That would technically be 0, 1. Right? So, and this will just read as 0, 1, even though it's 2. So, what it will do is, as long as it's less than this, it'll get it. Oh, Jesus. It'll go through. So, 0 is less than 2, or I think this will display 1, maybe. I think it will display 2, but anyway. If your inventory, you'll find item of that ID that is equal to item with the 0, which is the first item in the array. Once you find that and is equal to the ID of our first item in the inventory, we're going to then take that inventory. So pretty much we're taking the first item in this array, taking the first item in this array, then we're going to find the count for that, along with then taking these, make sure they're equal, and then we're going to push it into here. We're going to push this with the count here. So pretty much, I suck at explaining this part, but we're just getting a number count, because that's what we need. We need to get how much each and every item in an array is. We need that number. And this will go through each item in our inventory that has an ID that is equal to whatever the value is in the array that's at the current index. So 0 will be the first item, 1 will be the second item, so on and so forth. Then we will find our item name. That's what we'll use for each item in the inventory, and we're going to find the count number of each and every item in the inventory, and then we're going to push each and every number into here, and here's why. So yeah, it will continue through this until it's done. So this here will be an array full of numbers, like 0, 5s, 1s, whatever, however much this count is. So now we're going to do we're going to make another variable that's an array. So now we're going to go through this again, for, and we're going to get the length of that array. But instead, we're pushing this into here with the array, our original array, which will be the item of the current iteration, and set it to its count number of its current iteration. So what I mean is, if since x is 0, the first item in this array, alright, will be here, and the first item, the first number in this array will be here. Now, if you don't really see it, is that whenever you compare these two, you will actually see that array lines directly up with its count number that it should have been up here. This here aligns with this, which means that I can accurately tell you, I can accurately do it, set display the name and then display its count number through these two arrays that are they align together. So like if this was a sword and you had 2 swords, it will say sword x2, saying that you have 2 of that item. That's what that will do. And then we just return this. Now we go back up here. After doing this, we now have event items, being that array. That array, oh my god, that array is a string as many times as we need to for that item. For each item, we'll have a string, and so we have an array of strings now to put. So that is right here. So now we want to check if it has length again, so we can then add items and then that inventory, and we're going to keep the inline to be true, I guess. No, I'll just do it. But it doesn't really matter because it's like each of these items in this here are now being on a new line every time. And I already explained that. Interaction, that reply, content, your inventory, embeds, invent embed. This will just send that message. So now let's see if it works. So here's what we got. I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna delete this. Alright. And then I'm gonna go here. I'm gonna start the bot. Node. Okay. So we're going to do inventory. It says we create a profile for you. That's good. I'm going to do inventory again. As you can see, this is a tag that we have. Our inventory. It says your inventory. You have nothing in it. So I ran this because we have 0. Now we can do add to add a gun. We're going to do add again to add a pickaxe. Going to add again and add another pickaxe. Going to add again, add another gun, pickaxe. Oh boy, pickaxe, gun. Oh my god, come on, give me the third item. Jesus, never said this was gonna be. There we go, sword. Sword. Don't know why it was just a bunch of pickaxes and guns. It's probably just because of my math here. I don't really care. It's just a throwaway command that I just needed something to display that this inventory works. So pickaxe again. Come on, axe there. All right, we got all 4 items. So now if we do inventory, as you can see, it does gun that. Now it's not doing that for some reason. It's not doing the numbers for some reason. Let me look. So yeah, so we got gun and everything. Let me do add again. Yeah, let me look what's going on. Count. So it's not adding 1. Name. Count. Percent. Count. I think I'm gonna rename this to item count. That should be fine. You gotta be careful with the names on here because it could fuck you up. I feel like that's what happened right now. Because if I go to my database, it should say that we have 4 items, 4 objects with a gun, count of 1, gun, count of 2. Oh, I know why. We're not saving it. Shit. Here we are. No, we're only saving it for 1. Where here, it's not doing it. Unless we're only getting 1. But yeah, it could be what I fixed here. Let me try it again. I know that this works because I use it. Add an axe. Add an axe. Am I just gonna get axes now? Big axe, okay. Still type of axe. Or, jeez. Alright, object, gun, big axe. Nope, nope, nope. That's weird. That is strange. Guess an inventory is not different. Bro, I just want to go to sleep. What the fuck? I just want to sleep. It's this here. I know it. It's this part right here. Oh, that's right. I fucking spelled it. Look at that. Right there. Son of a bitch. Oh, that pisses me off. I just want to go the fuck to bed. Alright. There. Didn't have to really... There. You got some variables changed. How about that? There. Now. My fucking god. Sword. Axe. No. Gun. Gun. No, that's fine. Inventory. There you go. Look at that. As I was saying, you got 1 pickaxe here. You got 3 guns there. Got 2 of those. You just gotta add, and then you just do like inventory, and there. See that? Look at that. It works. Okay, I'm not crazy. Anyway, that's your inventory. That's as simple as I can go. If you wanted to add like a graphics, I guess, you would probably have to change something with here and mainly right here, because that's where it will show up. But you would need to do some things to get the right image. I mean, you could try and do it like this, where you have another array full of like strings with the image, and then just have that array be right in front of here with its iteration, so they're all together. But you have to make sure that it actually sends the image and not just a string of where it is. So yeah, but that's just an idea. If you wanted to do that, you can try. I don't give a fuck. So I'm done here. I've been at this for 46 minutes, and I'm not editing this because I'm just gonna upload it, and I'm going to bed, and I'm changing this stuff as well. I'm going to change this shit. Don't look at my public key. So I don't even care. What censor? No, I don't care. As long as you don't see my token and log in, I guess. Besides, that's public. Same with that. Anyway, see ya.